Hello and welcome to Consumer Credit Stress Barometer series. I am Milena Malev, Chief Product Officer at illion. Consumer Credit Stress Barometer report has now been widely publicized in Australian media, and it is used by lenders to understand the performance of the industry. It is a very important report from economic as well as business perspective, as it not only looks at historical trends, it also takes in consideration the next 12 months. Marketing and modeling teams at illion monitor consumer credit stress levels on a quarterly basis. Today, I'm joined by Barrett Hasseldine, Head of Modeling, to discuss our consumer credit stress report that we released in June. Hi, Barrett.
Morning, Milena.
What was the vision behind creating the report? We've been running it for now more than 12 months. And how do we measure the levels of credit stress in Australia?
So coming out of COVID and a string of interest rate rises, we felt that illion's data could play a very valuable role in understanding how the economy and in particular how consumers are faring with these trickier times. And so what we've done is we've taken our credit bureau data and from that come up with a forecast probability of default, which is really just a likelihood that individuals are going to stop making their payments in the coming year. And that's what we track over time and forms the basis of the Consumer Risk Barometer.
What are we seeing this quarter and how is it different to the last 12 months?
So in 2023, we saw a pretty dire situation where all age groups and all different credit products, credit cards, personal loans and home loans, each of them showed deteriorating credit risk throughout the year. What we've seen in 2024 is a bit different. We've seen that home loans and credit cards have started to stabilize in terms of their credit risk, whereas personal loans and lines of credit have now started to escalate in terms of delinquencies. And we've also seen that it's not the same for every age group. Folk in their 40s, generally their risk has actually started to improve a little bit. Many of them are homeowners. Whereas folk in their 30s, the risk is still rising, and the individuals in their 20s, the risk is still rising and at an escalating rate. So it's quite a worrying story for young Australians.
It is quite concerning to see the increasing level of stress for younger Australians. What do you think is actually driving those generational differences?
So illion's data shows that rental expenses have gone up roughly about 12% over the past year. And so for younger Australians, that's a significant portion of their household budget and outstrips wage inflation materially. We've also seen reduced household savings, which means just as the extended cost of living crisis goes on, young Aussies just don't have as much cash available as what they used to.
Is it something specific for subprime, or we're seeing it across prime markets as well?
For mainstream personal loans, we've seen the risk increase. We've also seen the same for SAC and MAC, so more subprime type lenders as well.
And if we have a look at the whole country, are we seeing different patterns in different states?
We actually do. So last year when we saw home loan and credit card delinquencies worsen, that was mainly in Victoria and New South Wales. What we're seeing now with personal loans is Western Australia, Victoria and New South Wales are the three states whose delinquencies are going up the fastest, whereas we see states such as Tasmania and ACT actually faring quite well at the moment.
We've seen this quarter reduction in consumer confidence, about 4%, and now coupled this with the reduction in their confidence in finance. What do you think the next 12 months look like?
I think definitely it's a bit of a sad state for the Aussie dream of owning your own home as a young Australian, with higher interest rates, the cost of living really soaking up cash buffers, and rentals going up so much. So there's probably some kind of challenges on that front that we're going to see the coming year. One thing that's going to be quite interesting is the stage 3 tax cuts that come through. We'll start seeing an effect on spend probably in the second half of calendar year 2024. So it will be really key, and we'll be keeping an eye on what impact does that have in terms of credit stress, and does it even potentially make some of the age difference we're seeing now even further exacerbated.
Thank you, Barrett. In closing, what we're seeing is the financial resilience of consumers is very important, and seeing how they withstand economic conditions in the next 12 months. The focus is really on increased stress levels for younger Australians, in particular those with personal loans and line of credit, and important to keep an eye on generational differences that we're seeing in the levels of credit risk and what it actually means for younger Australians in their ability to accumulate wealth and own a home in the future. Thank you for watching our video. If you have any questions or would like to discuss the report in a bit more detail, please feel free to reach out. I'm Milena Malev. Thank you for watching.